The crystal chandelier in the private dining room of Le Bernardin shimmered like a crown of knives, casting fractured light across the starched white tablecloth where I sat. My fingers laced tightly in my lap to hide the tremor. The air was thick with the scent of aged Bordeaux and seared foie gras, but all I could taste was the bitter edge of betrayal building in my throat. Around me, the laughter started as a low rumble, the kind that corporate elites use to mask their insecurities. But tonight it sharpened into something vicious. You know what I absolutely adore about these executive dinners? Vanessa Hale purred, her manicured fingers swirling her wine glass like a weapon. She was the VP of Client Relations at Apex Innovations, the company I'd quietly saved from the brink 3 years ago. Her eyes, sharp as stilettos, scanned the table before locking onto me with feigned sweetness. It's meeting the devoted spouses who keep our high flyers from crashing and burning. Right, Sophia? Must be paradise lounging at home while Daniel here conquers the world. The words landed like a slap, but I kept my face a mask of calm, my breath steady even as my pulse hammered. The other partners, wives and girlfriends, mostly shifted in their seats, silk dresses rustling like whispers of unease. Margaret Voss, the HR head, let out a titter that sounded forced, her fork hovering midair. Victor Lang, our CEO, focused intently on slicing his wagyu, as if the meat held the key to ignoring the storm brewing. But Vanessa wasn't done. She leaned in, emboldened by the silence, her voice dripping with that faux envy women like her wielded like poison. I mean, some of us grind it out in the trenches. But you? Living the dream. Darling, bet it's torture deciding between Pilates or that afternoon spa session. The table erupted in chuckles, a wave that crashed over me, each laugh chipping away at the wall I'd built around my secrets. I glanced sidelong at Daniel, my fiancé of 2 years, waiting for him to step in, to redirect with that charm he used so effortlessly in boardrooms. Instead, he smirked, that awkward, complicit twist of his lips that said he was choosing the room over me. Vanessa, you're killing it tonight, Margaret chimed in, her giggles escalating. But seriously, Sophia, I'm jealous. No board meetings, no deadlines, just pure bliss on someone else's dime. She lifted her glass in a mocking salute to landing the perfect catch. The laughter swelled, bolder now, and I felt heat prickling up my neck like invisible thorns. Victor finally cleared his throat, but his tone was light, indulgent, like he was humoring a favorite niece. Easy there, ladies. Don't ruffle our guests' feathers. He winked at me, and something inside twisted tighter. Though, Sophia, you've nailed the formula. Why hustle when you've got a powerhouse handling the load? And then Vanessa struck the fatal blow, her eyes gleaming with triumph. Honestly, though, it must be heavenly being so irrelevant while your man brings home the bacon. What do you even fill your days with? Binge-watching soaps. The room exploded. Daniel threw his head back, his laugh genuine and gut-deep, slicing through me like shattered glass. Margaret was wheezing, dabbing at her eyes. Even Victor chuckled into his napkin. The mockery echoed off the paneled walls, turning the opulent space into a cage of humiliation. I sat frozen, studying their faces, Vanessa's smug victory, Daniel's easy amusement, Margaret's shared glee, Victor's approving nod. A cold clarity settled in my chest, sharp as frostbite. I thought of the sleepless nights 3 years back, fingers flying over keyboards in my Brooklyn loft, birthing Neural Dynamics, the AI firm that had redefined digital marketing analytics. The patents in my name fueling millions in revenue. The merger documents locked in my safe, proving my 67% stake in Apex. I placed my water glass down with surgical precision and turned to Victor. The laughter was fading. sensing the shift in the air. Interesting point. Victor, I said, my voice slicing the remnants like a scalpel. Does it strike you as odd that this irrelevant woman controls 67% of your empire? The silence that crashed down was suffocating, devouring every whisper, every breath. It was as if the world had paused, leaving only the distant hum of Manhattan traffic far below. Vanessa's glass halted mid-sip. Her lips parted in dumb shock. Margaret's jaw slackened into a perfect oval of horror. Daniel looked like I'd just rewritten his reality. But Victor's pallor, draining to ash, was the one I savored. His knife clattered against porcelain, echoing like a gavel. "Excuse me," Vanessa breathed, her bravado crumbling. I rose deliberately, napkin folding neatly on the table. "Thank you for the enlightening evening, Victor." It's clarified a few things. Their stares burned my back as I strode to the door, heels clicking a steady rhythm of finality. Behind me, chairs scraped. Voices erupted in frantic murmurs, but I didn't turn. In the elevator, alone with the descent, my hands finally shook. The dam of 3 years' silence had broken, and the flood would drown them all. 3 years earlier, the alarm pierced the pre-dawn quiet of my Brooklyn loft at 5 a.m. sharp. Not out of necessity, but because sleep was a luxury my racing mind rarely afforded. I'd shuffle across the chilled concrete floors, brew coffee black as midnight, and dive into the digital abyss at my workstation, a fortress of monitors that dominated half the space. Neural dynamics was my lifeline, born in a cramped garage 4 years prior, fueled by instant ramen and unyielding grit. By then, we'd ballooned to 52 employees, fielding acquisition bids from tech behemoths in the valley. Our AI platform didn't just analyze consumer data, it predicted behaviors, optimized campaigns, and automated strategies that turned failing brands into powerhouses. I remember the morning it all pivoted, buried in neural network code when my assistant buzzed. "Victor Lang from Apex Innovations is here. Says it's urgent." Apex was familiar, a solid but stagnant marketing firm, 12 years old, clinging to outdated tactics while nimbler startups ate their lunch. Victor entered my office like a man on borrowed time, tall, silver fox handsome in a tailored suit that couldn't conceal the desperation etching his features. "MS. Carter." "Appreciate the slot," he said. Handshake firm but eyes pleading. We overlooked the East River as he pitched synergies and growth partnerships. I discreetly pulled up their financials on my iPad, bleeding red. Clients fleeing. Revenue tanking 38% in 18 months. "Mr. Lang," I cut in softly. "Let's drop the veneer. Apex is circling the drain." His polished facade cracked, shoulders slumping. "We're challenged. 180 families depend on me turning this around." I admired the raw admission. Vulnerability was rare in our cutthroat world. "What if there's a bolder path? Not partnership, merger on my terms." His brows furrowed. "I'm offering neural dynamics to acquire Apex," I explained, pacing to the window. "Google's at 180 million for us, Meta's hinting 220. But I don't want absorption into a soulless machine. Apex has roots, loyal clients, a team with heart." Victor stared. "Processing. That positions you as majority owner." "Yes. You stay CEO. Operations yours. We fuse innovation with your infrastructure." The weight of it hung heavy. I saw him calculate the salvage of his legacy against ego's bruise. The conference room negotiations hummed with tension, leather chairs creaking under the weight of suited lawyers. Victor's team, 5 in matching grays, flanked him like guardians. My counsel, Rebecca, a shark in mergers, slid proposals across the mahogany. "Sophia retains 67% ownership," she stated. "Victor leads publicly, strategic vetoes hers. Murmurs rippled. Public disclosure, their lead. Ellis Grant. Probed. Confidential, I insisted. The spotlight had already scorched me endless TED invites. Profiles painting me as the wunderkind while dissecting my every flaw. I craved the shadows to create without the glare. No layoffs, I added firmly. Your team's knowledge is gold. Victor nodded. Respect flickering. As talks wound down, he mentioned Daniel Thompson. His rising star in accounts. He's kept clients loyal through the storm. Deserves a bump, maybe director of strategic partnerships. I hid a smile. Daniel and I had been dating discreetly for 6 months. He knew my work ethic but not the full scope. If he's earned it, I replied neutrally. Rebecca eyed me knowingly. We sealed it with NDA's binding ownership secrecy. Victor shook my hand. This could be legendary. Sophia. I hoped so. But the silence I'd chosen already whispered of costs unspoken. The first crack appeared 8 weeks post-merger. Holed up in my discreet second-floor office at Apex's Midtown headquarters, chosen for anonymity, I overheard Daniel in the lounge. His voice carrying like an unintended confession. Perfect timing. Man. Sophia's been easing off the grind. Wanting more balance. Now I can step up. Provide like she deserves. My blood chilled. Vanessa's reply slithered through. Adorable, she had her startup fling. But sustainability? Questionable. My fling, the AI saving their asses, reduced to whimsy. I slipped past, catching Vanessa's pitying wave. Like I was a quaint relic. That night, over takeout sushi in our shared Chelsea apartment. Daniel beamed. Victor's promotion chat was epic, director. Sophia, with Neurals Tech. I'm frontlines. He gripped my hand. This changes us. I yearned to reveal I'd championed his rise. That the tech was mine. Instead, I murmured congratulations. The silence a growing ache in my chest. Months blurred into a tapestry of erasures. At galas, I was Daniel's better half, my innovations lauded sans credit. Vanessa's jabs, lucky you. Planning babies on Daniel's dime. Margaret's intros, our homemaker hero. Victor's toasts, to the men building empires and the women holding them up. Daniel morphed subtly. Craving the alpha glow. Dismissing my consulting as hobbyist. You're figuring things out, he'd say to colleagues. Rewriting me as a drift while I steered Apex from shadows. The hurt festered. A quiet poison, betrayal not in grand strokes, but daily dismissals. I worked deeper into nights. Isolation my shield. Questioning if privacy's price was my soul's slow fade. The executive dinner invite arrived like a summons. Gold embossed on heavy stock, honoring Apex's renaissance. My renaissance. Cloaked in others' glory. You're in. Right? Daniel pressed. Eyes pleading validation. Victor's insisting partners attend. Reluctance choked me. But his need won. Fine. The blue cocktail dress he suggested hung like armor or a shroud. At Le Bernardin. Victor boomed welcomes, seating me amid safety nets. Talks praised AI-driven surges, my handiwork, attributed to visionary leadership. Vanessa steered to us supportive souls, her barb sharpening. Daniel's enabling nods twisted the knife deeper. His silence a louder betrayal than words. Back at the table. Post my restroom escape. Vanessa's assault peaked. Her wine-fueled glee dismantled me, irrelevant. Useless. A trophy. Daniel's laugh, unfettered. Approving, shattered the last illusion. In that echo of mockery. My silence's cost crystallized, 3 years of swallowed pride. Eroded self. For a love proven hollow. Victor's wink. Margaret's cackles they'd pay. But Daniel's glee? That was the deepest wound. Michael Reed. CFO opposite. Met my gaze, knowing. Urging. He'd crunched numbers from my tech. Signed off on truths buried. I drew breath. Voice steel, odd. Victor. That this useless speck owns 67%. Vacuum silence sucked life from the room. Vanessa blanched, Margaret gaped, Daniel whispered denial. I flashed merger docs on my phone. Neural Dynamics founder? Me. The savior tech? Mine. Revelations poured, promotions I'd orchestrated. Innovations claimed. To Daniel, I tested your loyalty. Thinking me powerless. You failed. Resignations demanded Vanessa by dawn. Margaret under review. Daniel's office, cleared. Victor's plea for privacy? Denied. 3 years grace ends now. Striding out. Voices detonated behind. In my car. Rain-slicked streets blurring. Freedom surged, but so did the toll. Silence had shielded. Yet scarred, betrayal's sting lingered. A reminder that thrones reclaimed often stand on ruins of trust. The empire was mine again. But at what price to the heart?